Hey guys, Vice Fister here again, and today we meet everyone's favorite babysitter, the penultimate boss of the Vault of the Incarnates, Broodkeeper Diurna. This entire encounter revolves around Diurna and her clutch of dragon eggs. All of the eggs must be either hatched or destroyed via the focused Great Staff for her to be slain. There are pros and cons to both zapping her eggs with the Great Staff as opposed to letting her hatch them, and the fight is all about controlling this intake of mechanics to survive, all the while dealing with an onslaught of her draconic brood and primalist forces. This fight is insane chaos from beginning to end, and I love it. Once all of her eggs are either hatched or destroyed, she enrages and empowers all of her abilities. This begins her final phase. Kill her before she kills you. The core mechanic of this fight is based on the eggs scattered around the room. Diurna rapidly gains energy, and upon reaching 100, she casts Rapid Incubation, priming the two nearest eggs to hatch in the next 15 seconds. That's the grayish floating thing hovering there. Rapid Incubation will cause those two eggs to hatch a fully formed proto-dragon that can be tanked, but we can avoid this almost completely by the next ability. Immediately after she casts Rapid Incubation, she chucks her Great Staff into the ground, dealing damage in an area. This is key as this allows nearby players to activate their extra action button to call the focus of a laser beam that follows you. These players can guide the tracking beam across any eggs to break them, and prematurely breaking an egg affected by Rapid Incubation instead hatches a small baby whelp that dies rather easily instead of the proto-dragon. Additionally, every egg that hatches in this way explodes for raid damage and briefly enrages the boss for a short time. Damage to Diurna herself here is secondary, as the goal is to get rid of all these eggs one way or another without losing control of the encounter, which gets much more difficult once we meet her literal army of dragons, draconids, and primalist mages. Throughout the fight, packs of assorted mobs spawn around the room, each with a set of abilities. Some of these guys are deadly and are absolutely target priority. Primalist mages channel Ice Barrage, a massive frost dot that will easily kill someone within seconds. This is prio number 1. Grip her in, interrupt this, and smack her. Terrasect Earth Reavers fire frontal cones that can burst damage and stun. The blue dragon you see running around is actually not one of the egg spawns. The juvenile Frost Proto-Dragon occasionally accompanies the groups of ads that join the fight. This dragon channels a raid-wide pulsing damage and should probably be taken down pretty quickly. Draconid Stormbringers will cast it out on multiple players that pulls damage in an area around them, obvious spread out mechanic. Dragon Spawn Flamebenders summon Flame Sentries, a rotating fire turret. And finally, the Terrasect Legionnaires are your lowest priority. Just group them and cleave them down with the higher prios. I was not joking when I said Broodkeeper Diurna brings a literal army, and they spawn really quickly, so ad control will be the #1 most important focus of this fight. While all of the previous endless chaos is occurring, Diurna will also occasionally cast 2 other abilities that affect the entire raid. Wildfire splashes across the position of every player, exploding in a small area and burning players hit over time. Ice Shroud applies a slow and a healing absorption shield. Note this shield can be dispelled. Once all the eggs are hatched or destroyed, she enrages, increasing damage dealt and adding power to her abilities. For example, her Mortal Wounds tank debuff is increased, and Icy Shroud becomes Frozen Shroud, and now freezes people in destroyable ice tombs. Her damage ramps up throughout the phase, acting as a soft enrage to the fight. This has so far been the most impressive fight of the raid. I'm a huge sucker for any fight with tons of visual effects going on. It just gives a real weight to everything happening around you, and there is a lot happening here. This fight paces at breakneck speed, but it does a great job of not feeling too out of control or messy. Broodkeeper Diurna's encounter gives you tons of ways to keep every mechanic in check, and I guarantee this will be a blast to progress. S tier fight. I'll be covering every single boss of the new raid during raid testing on normal, heroic, and mythic during the scheduled release on screen, and uploading videos like this the same day. So, if you want to get a first-hand look of Vault of the Incarnates, get a taste of the newest content, and see how Evoker plays in raid, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for my channel, and I got you. And if you like Evoker, and might consider it your new main, or even just a casual ult, check out the rest of my vids. Next boss coming right up. See you there!